Low Driving Intelligence community. This morning, after taking my trusty dog Abe for a hike, I couldn't get the door open, actually the suicide door. As these trucks get older, they're notorious for having this problem. The suicide door will not open. There's cables in here that operate the open and close mechanisms, and I've actually got the parts to repair this. You've got to get the door open after you take the panels off and pull the cables. The door will release itself, and you can do a repair with some very high quality items that you can buy on Amazon, and I'll show you that in the links below. Follow along as I get this door repaired so we can go hiking tomorrow. First thing that needs to be done is to take this trim piece off, and what's holding that on are clips and also the screws that hold on that locking mechanism. To show it to you a little bit easier here, you can see this on this door, the trim piece. There's two screws here that hold this locking mechanism on. You just take these two screws out. That allows you to actually pull the whole panel away from the door, and that should give you access to some of those cables. Hopefully it's my upper cable that's not a problem on the other door, and I'll be able to get it open and show you a little bit more about the repair operation. So I've pulled this out. It's a very quick operation. As I mentioned, I took the two screws out, and this just pushes straight in with these pins, so you'll just pull it straight away from the door very easily, but very carefully. You don't want to break those pins. Unfortunately, I can't reach the cables without the lower panel removed, so that's the next step. Again, this is relatively easy. You just got to take these screws out and the panel should pull straight up. There is a right here, there was a push pin that goes in there. It broke off. I don't think you necessarily need it. You can always get one of the old type, but they're going to break when you take them off, but I wouldn't worry about that. I don't understand why Ford put that in a permanent manner, but just pull it out. It'll break, and if you feel like you need to put something there, I didn't, you can get one of those more flexible push pins that will push right in there. I've removed all the fasteners. One 10mm nut here and two Phillips heads. At this point, it's very easy to remove. You basically pull this straight up and out, and now the panel's removed. You can even wash it, and now I have full access. I did put soundproofing on this, so I'm going to have to peel the soundproofing away to get to the cables. I'll show you that in a moment. I've exposed the mechanism inside. You can see this operating, but the problem is there's a cable that gets loose, and it's hard for me to show you at the same time. Maybe through this hole. Yeah, here you can see that piece of tape. But in order to release the door, I had to pull on the cable while also opening up the door handle. So it turns out it's actually my upper connector, not the lower one. The lower one opened up fine, so I'm going to have to take this mechanism apart up here probably to get to this. Next step is to remove this piece of weather stripping by removing the pull pins. I've already removed a couple of them. Actually, I might be able to get to this without removing any others. And now I've got to get to this mechanism here and pull this out so I can get to the section of the cable that has been compromised. Alright, so I've got the weather stripping out of the way. I've pulled the mechanism back, and there you can see where it's broken. That piece needs to be removed and replaced. I recommend that you take the cable out. So you need to pinch this, push it out. You can see the repaired one here as well. And this whole cable, after you take out those three bolts, will pull completely out. You can see how this plastic piece from age is just, it's fragmenting, it's coming apart. So it's definitely overdue. I'm surprised it lasted as long as it did. So let's do the repair. So there's two styles of these caps that replace the broken. On the bottom here, you'll see that I use this one. Makes it very easy to insert. up here, because of the design of this cable, you can't pull the cable out, so that's why this one comes with a modified design, so that you can angle it in after you install it on this cable. So the piece is installed. It's back to new. You can see what's left of all the junk that fell apart in there. I use a little bit of WD-40 in here to help seat that because it's really tight. But now we can reinstall this and get this door operational again. So I fixed the top one, but guess what? Now my bottom one is failing, so I got to take the bottom out as well. So I'm on a creeper, and you can see that there's 2 bolts to hold this down, and there's no way to repair this unless you pull the entire assembly out. So I'm going to have to pull it out through the door to fix this assembly. So I've opened up my sound deadening a little more. These little yellow clips actually pull out, so be careful. It's an old vehicle, this plastic can crack. So I've got the cable out, and you can see here I've got another damaged unit, so I'm going to have to fix that. Took the speaker out because you can see here I've got a little bit of plastic that's pinched in here that needs to be removed, and then the whole assembly will come out. So taking the speaker out is definitely going to make this a lot easier. You can see the closure mechanism down here that's already been disconnected. Lower door mechanism is removed. You can see where it broke. This is what's causing problems. This one is not completely broken, but it's close enough, so I'm going to replace both of them. So it's the right time. Bottom mechanism is now assembled with the new end caps on both sides. I used some brake cleaner to clean this out because it was pretty dirty, especially since it's the bottom of the door. And now I'm going to lubricate it with some dry lube. I don't want to use a normal lube that's going to attract dust. And then I'll reinstall. So I have everything installed. I don't have the yellow caps closed yet because I want to make sure that I've got the proper tension. Oh, and it turns out this mechanism down here actually has 3 bolts. One of them is hidden by the weather stripping. So let's test it out. Perfect. Let's use the inside door release. Everything works perfectly. So this one's done. When is that one going to fail?